Hello, everyone. My name is Triton Perrin, and I am here bringing you a review of one of my Tygem games. I mentioned in a previous video that I was going to do a little challenge for myself. It's the 100 games on Tygem, and it's been a while since I've played. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks, and I played 2 games, and then before that it was another couple weeks, and I think I played like a teaching game in between then. So I was really rusty, and I went to go play my first 2 games on Tygem, and I totally screwed up my first one. But I said I was going to make a review, so I thought I would review both games fairly quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on them. But yes, so here we go. So my first game, I lost by 34 points because I just made a really stupid mistake. It's actually kind of an embarrassing game in my opinion. But let's look at it. So as you can see, where is it? I guess nothing big really died, but white has all of these points over here. And black has points here, 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 like little bits everywhere, but nothing that's quite as big as this. And then white has some extra points everywhere else. And then white has Comey. So, this is no good. But let's see where I went wrong here. Now, after a certain point, I'm just sort of playing moves and because like when you haven't played a game for a long time and you're wanting to get back into the groove of it, getting back into your previous mindset so you can be as strong as you once were, even if you've lost a game, I feel like it's important to keep playing, at least with your first few games. After that, you can start resigning at the right points, but you need to practice every single section of the game in order to sort of get back into it. At least that's how I've always done it. So yeah, I totally lost this game. But I played black, and let's see how it went. So one of the other little tricks I used to help me get back into shape as quickly as possible is I play a familiar Fuseki. And so this is the orthodox, and I've used it many, many times, so I know it really well. So my opponent split. The proper move is to come over here. When he attaches, I can play sort of the avalanche. This is all sort of just normal, but my opponent played this move. And I know this is a possibility, but I couldn't really remember it. But looking at the situation, I can't let my 2 stones... I can't let white Hane the head of my 2 stones here. That would be too powerful. So I extend. When white extends, I feel like I don't want to keep extending, but maybe it's important. But I decide that I want to try to push this stone around first and make something along the top. So white just invades right away. And looking at the game right now, I kind of feel like if I played this game again, I would win as black for sure, just looking at it from this point. But that's what happens when you don't play often. You end up losing games you should have won. So I push from this direction. White doesn't have much. White doesn't have a very large place to go, so it seems like it's applying the most pressure, and it's strengthening my area, which isn't really a strong wall in my opinion. 2 space. I do this. Maybe it's better to kick, but this seems fine still. He does this. Kicking the stone here, it's common, but I feel like it was a bad move because it allows me to get this jump, which puts a lot of pressure on this stone. So again, looking at this game, I feel like I definitely would win again if I played this exact game. It's like there's no chance that I would lose. So let's see how I lost. So white does this. I apply pressure. I could have been more severe, but I think this is strong enough. I don't need to be any more ridiculous. white tanukis, so I apply a little bit more pressure. And then this is the start of where things went bad. So it doesn't seem like it's that bad, but when you're attacking something, you want to keep your shape strong so that your opponent has less opportunities to live easily. So I should just surround fairly loose like this. My opponent's probably going to make some bad exchanges somehow and try to live. You know, something. I'm going to get this. I'm going to keep my corner, and I'm going to build this really strong wall, and then I'll be able to do something with these stones, right? Seems good. But that's not how it went. If I go back to the game, here we go. So I applied a little bit too much pressure, and that just means that, my shape's not going to be as strong. Not the losing move yet, so it's not too bad. White comes out. I peep and do this, and it seems like, yes, I've kind of surrounded it, but there's lots of Aji in my shape, so it's hard to say if I got enough compensation out of this. I did gain some strength, but we'll see how I screwed it up here in a second. So push, and then white plays this move, which will let him live fairly easily, I believe. Yeah, pretty easily. I have to block this way, or I guess it's possible that I could block this way. I never usually think of something like this, but it seems possible. So maybe I made a small mistake there, but that's okay. Blocking, I have to keep my shape strong, so I just kind of protect everything. Then he plays this move. Maybe I responded incorrectly here, but he's just able to live pretty easily in the corner here. And now I have this cut, so that's quite annoying. It's not going to do anything right away, but it's annoying. And I also have some Aji here, so you can kind of see where the start of all the problems come. Because I leaned a little bit too aggressively here, I ended up making some bad shape for myself on the outside. And I wasn't able to kill, so I have a little bit to worry about with cuts, and I'm not going to be able to attack this group very severely. So that sucks, but I think the game is still possible for me to win from here. If we go on, I try to get some influence, but then I make a silly reading error. And yeah, that's no good. That doesn't work for me. Because he would be able to cut off these stones, and that would be worth too many points. So I try to salvage the situation as best I can, but my shape was just a little bit too weak for it. White probably could have been a little bit more aggressive, but I think this is fine. And I just have to see, like, all I'm doing now, because white was able to just kind of push through the shape that I was making and come right out into the center. Yes, white is technically a weak group, but white has a lot of liberties and is very strong. While I have a weak group here and potentially weak group here, which I believe white takes advantage of right now. There actually is not much I can do here. So I jump, white attaches. This is actually very strong, very good. And I try to save everything. Because I try to get this not to be cut. And I just give white a couple points rather than 100. And then I just make sure I'm alive with my group. In Sente, though, so that was good. Yes, so you can kind of see what went wrong already. White was able to get some strength. White was able to harass my groups. And I haven't really gained any profit from any of this attacking and any of this fighting, I guess, is what it would be. But still not over yet, so let's keep going. I have to protect this group, obviously. I can't take a big point now. I have to protect this group. So I jump out. He takes profit. And I couldn't find a way to attack this group. So I leaned over here to try to get some strength. He pushed, which means I can't get anything. I can't attack this one anymore. So I have to do what I can. He takes more points again. And see, that's the sort of thing that I'm missing, isn't it? My opponent just keeps taking points and points and points, and I'm not really getting anything. But my group is still weak. So I'm obviously making some pretty bad moves. So if we keep going, like I wasn't even sure what to play here. I knew I had to protect this group, but I wasn't sure, like what can I do? So when he jumps here, I have to protect over here. Then he takes another big move, which does help him. So I try to do something, and this is where I started to concentrate a little bit more. And actually, I'd played really well throughout this area because there was nothing that white could do. And this was a mistake by white. I can cut through and Hane here, which cuts off the two groups. And yes, white had some pretty bad shape problems. White's almost alive here. And now the video that I made the other day was using Aji. And so there's a lot of Aji of whether or not this group can live. But I play this, not this one. I play this move here. I make this exchange, then I play this move. And now it's actually a little bit harder to kill. Because I have to come back and protect my shape here. So instead of playing that, I should have come back and protected first. Then, if he decides he wants to make two eyes, this is sort of the variation that went in the game. So yes, let's say he decided to make two eyes. Now, when I do something over here, I can probably just bring this stone out. And something that, for some reason, he didn't take advantage of was that he can just do this, right? There's this horrible problem here. But, as I said, if I protect here first, I can just bring this stone out, and I might be able to kill this group on the bottom, which would give me enough points to potentially win. So that is pretty cool. But I ruin my chances by just Atariing here. And this is sort of like the losing area. There's not really anything I can do. He just goes to live here. After he lives here, there's nothing. I got to protect this, though. So he lost quite a bit there. And I gain an extra couple points, but this compared to this and this, it's still not enough. And I have one last opportunity to try and kill this group. Which, I don't play the wrong move yet, but when he plays here, I can block, pushes through, I block, this cut is nothing. Nothing here, which means that he would have to come back here and make this eye, but then there's no second eye. Oh man. Oh well. Well, maybe he can still live. It looks like there's just enough Aji here to squeeze out a second eye. So it's like, it's so difficult. This game was so difficult for me. But you know, I played it, I tried, I did all I could, and it was an okay game. Now, something to remember for this game: make sure that when you attack, your shape is strong. Back to the beginning, like when I was attacking here, you don't want to play this move. White is really strong in both these areas, so I can just push and cut potentially. So I was trying to get a little bit more than I could. Just play loosely, let white live if they can live, and figure it out from there. So that was probably my biggest mistake that led to the rest of the game. Also, just learn how to read. I just made a simple mistake here. Very bad. I have to cut, I have to do this, just to make sure my groups don't die. And I have to try to salvage the situation, and that was no good. So, hopefully you learned a couple of things from this game. I know that the next time I play, I need to keep these sort of ideas in mind. And that actually brings me to my second game. And sorry if I'm moving a little bit too fast. I'm trying to make it so this doesn't take forever. So in my second game, I actually ended up winning by 60 points, or 58.5. And I played black again. As you can tell, this group is dead. And white tried to do something here, but it didn't work. And white tried to do something here, but it also didn't work. So that's no good. So we go back to the beginning. This actually started off very similarly to the other game, where white ended up making a few weak groups. So if we look at it, I just play Orthodox again. White approaches from the outside. I used to think of this as a mistake, but it's not really a mistake. It just, it's not trying to break up the board. It's just trying to build for yourself. But then white played here. And it's kind of funny because I actually have a game review that I made that I'm going to release in tomorrow or another day. And the person asked how to respond to this situation. And so I already studied this just like today when I was making the video, so that was funny. So the proper move is here. You're just trying to strengthen yourself and prevent this stone from getting an easy base. So white makes a base here. It's like he decided that this direction wasn't good enough, something like that. And I don't want to attack just this one stone. I want to try to pretend like this stone isn't even here and just approach. White kicks, which is really bad because he then plays this. This doesn't actually do anything. He's not attacking me. He's just making a weak shape everywhere. So I take advantage of it. This is like the typical sequence that you would see. Just a bunch of forcing moves, and this is why you don't Tanuki. Anyway, so now I gained influence and I can attack. That was cool. So white jumps out. I would jump, but I wanted to make my stones a little bit stronger. So I do the diagonal. Maybe jump is still better. And maybe I could have done like this. Like this looks a lot stronger as well. But I was trying to play simple. So this is the move I came up with. White jumps out. I just follow with the natural shape, just splitting off. White is attaching to make strength, and I'm just keeping strength. So then I come back to attack this group. Yay. So this is why I said, like in the other game, I thought that for sure I would win. And again, in this game, for sure I'm going to win this game. It's pretty obvious that I will win. Not because I'm going to kill anything, but because I'm going to be getting so much influence that the game's going to be very difficult. So white just goes to live as easily as possible. Oh, this, if I try to do this, you can do this and make a ko. If I connect, because I can still have this connection underneath, he can just kick. And it's a ko to kill these, so I'm not really interested in that. So I just decide to protect my shape, but maybe should have done it a different way, but that's still okay. I don't care if this group on top lives, so let's just make it live. Small misread here. I thought this would actually do more, but it didn't. And I didn't want to connect, so I had Tanuki. And see, I'm just still applying pressure. This is splitting this group. I have this giant wall with maybe one or two defects that could potentially be exploited, but it's right next to this weak white group. So white has to do something. So we just play simple moves. White decides to protect here, which allows me to gain initiative in the center. Yes, some exchanges. And I make sure the white's not alive. And then I play this move. This is kind of sort of loosely surrounding everything that white's going to do. It's going to make me stronger in some way. I'm just looking for influence facing the bottom. And I'm going to Tanuki the first possible opportunity. So just pressure, 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 pressure. This was a little bit weird. He could have Haned, but I guess he knew he was going to make eyes. So when he played this, I think it's actually possible for me to kill. Like if I really wanted to, I think it's possible for me to kill here. But I don't need to kill. I'm just making sure that he doesn't have, that I can get some profit. I'm just poking out eyes. Threatening a co. And he protects. There we go. Whew, all of that. So as you can see, my stones just sort of wrap around his, and now I have this gigantic wall that's facing the entire board. Yes, I have a couple defects, but they're nothing that I really have to worry about. So I just approach here, kick, and this, and so he knew how to play this time, and I just take my extension. Look at all this potential. This is really nice for me. And so white invades. This stone should not live, and it didn't. So there you go. So this is the main topic. I sort of blazed through this entire game because I'm fine with most of these moves. I didn't see anything looking through it the second time that was obviously bad. There were a couple of things, but nothing that was too bad. But this is sort of the topic I wanted to talk about. And it's how to respond to these sorts of invasions. Well, I have a wall up here, and this is sort of the only way for white to get out and connect. And the only other option white has is to attach underneath here and try to live. So the first thing you want to do is prevent your opponent from taking the easy way out. So I just play this. You can't live. Simple. White tries this really interesting move, trying to bait me into taking something so that you can just turn it into a reduction and connect up. But no, I'm after the whole thing. So I cut. White just pushes. This makes me stronger. I turn. Now the turn maybe was a little bit bad. I should probably play this and jump here. Or just push. But in either case, I'm not sure how white's going to live. And so if you look at what I'm doing, I'm just preventing white from connecting out anywhere and making sure my stones are strong so that there's nothing for white to take advantage of. So I'm playing it correctly this time. So yes, so I just extend when white sort of upside down kicks, right? Punches, upside down kick. That makes sense to me. It doesn't really look like white's going to live here. Maybe if white plays this now. Maybe if white does this. Not really. Because, yeah, this doesn't quite work. But it seems very close. Anyway. White tries, so I take this point because now it might work. And I just connect up. Simple, simple. White tries. I prevent. No worries. And I just surround. Simple, simple, simple. White can't live here. Maybe I was a little bit too It was a little bit too much, but it seemed like I was so strong in the area that I could afford to play some serious strong moves. At this point, though, the game is over. White cannot live anywhere, and seems like there's no place for white to make enough points to make up the difference. I think white makes a couple exchanges, and see, if I jump here, yes, it can probably be fine, but it's a little bit more oddly than I want to deal with. So I just make sure, like, too many kill threats, I guess. So I just make sure, dead, nothing. Anyway, white tries to make a few more points. There is a bit of weakness with this group, but I just see what he wants in the corner, and I leave this as a reduction, and I protect my group. He takes that to prevent me from connecting up in the corner, and I take some end game as well. A small mistake on my part, I think. I think I should play this move. Hane had 2 stones. It's good. But in the game, I played the Hane on the bottom because I wanted to start end game. So when white extends here, he doesn't have to protect anything. And I have lots of Aji here. If I do this, he can do this, this, and cut off these stones. And that would be a pretty big swing. I'm probably still winning, but I don't want to take the chance. So I just protect everything. End game, and I guess the game is sort of over now. Something to remember from this game. When you're playing on Tygem, your opponents are inevitably going to make weak groups, like what was here. Just make your stones strong, and then attack. First make your stones strong, and then attack. So that's the sort of... the thing that I see most people make the mistake of is they don't strengthen their stones first. They just attack. And so that is definitely a very important part, and something I wasn't paying as much attention to in my last game. So here, I'm just making my stones stronger, then I'm attacking. See? Exactly. And I don't need to play the most severe move because I'm going to get it enough from this attack that it doesn't matter. So I decide to allow him to have 2 weak groups and force one of them to live to gain lots of influence, and finish attacking again. So at this point, it should be obvious that black's going to win this game. Now, yeah, it's a little bit... Like I went through everything a little bit fast, but it should have been... I should have hit on the important part of just discussing my moves. I'm just splitting. I'm just doing this. I'm doing the very simple exchanges. Now, when it comes to your own games and playing on Tygem, you just need to remember to stay strong, and that's something that I need to remember. For example, here, when white jumps, maybe it's possible for me to do this and then cut. This is probably a little bit better, but I don't need to do that. I'm just going to play strongly. I'm just going to try to surround, and I'm going to win this way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed these quick-ish reviews. It's probably like a 30-minute, 40-minute video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I went over both games fairly quickly, and I hope I made sense. I watched the video afterwards to see if I did. But if you like this, be sure to, like the video and leave a comment if you have anything, if you have anything you want to ask or say. And I'm not sure the day that I'm going to start streaming these games, but I think maybe next week I'll start. It just depends on what I have planned. Anyway, so I think that's it, and I hope everyone has a good day. See ya.